Hey guys, hope you're having an amazing day. We're gonna jump straight into our review. We're on page 171. We're gonna go over compound personal pronouns, okay? So let's jump right in. Make sure your book is open. Make sure you're double checking your work and that you have all the correct answers as we go along. All right, so first of all, compound personal pronouns are used in the predicate to refer back to the subject or to add emphasis. That's their two functions. They do not take the place of personal pronouns. And in the exercises that we're going to see, they're going to try to use them in the place of personal pronouns. So we need to distinguish when to use them and when not to use them, okay? So we've got a couple examples here on the board. Ben and himself built a treehouse in the live oak. And my oak looks a little strange, okay? So here they try to use a compound personal pronoun in the place of a personal pronoun, okay? So here you see the him, the self, it's a compound personal pronoun. But let's notice if this is the appropriate use of it. Ben is the subject, and so the subject that goes along with Ben should be in the nominative case. So remember, the compound personal pronouns can take the place of the personal pronouns, okay? So this himself would be incorrect. You would have to write a personal pronoun that's in the third person singular nominative case, okay? And that's all broken down to you. You can go back to page 164. You see that your subjects are your subject and predicate nominatives are in the nominative case, and that it's someone that it's a person being spoken about, okay? So we'd use third person singular nominative case he. So you would replace himself with he. So in the sentence, they ask you, study these incorrect uses of the compound noun and rewrite each sentence correctly. So your sentence should be, Ben and he built a tree house in the live oak. So make sure that's what you have written down. That was one of your questions on the quizzes 2 weeks ago, I think. And so what I think I'm gonna do is this Friday, I'm gonna go back and redo some of those quizzes, and so you can take them online with the corrected work. All right, let's do the next one. I have a bouquet of flowers for yourself, period. Okay, again, we see the use of a compound personal pronoun. Now remember, the only time it's appropriate to use the compound personal pronoun, is when it's referring back to the subject or giving emphasis. And it's not doing that. Here we see that it's inside a prepositional phrase, okay? So that means we need to use an objective case personal pronoun. And so in this case, it's going to be you. Now, if you look at your list, the nominative case and the objective case personal pronoun are both you, so you're in luck. So your rewritten sentence should look like this. I have a bouquet of flowers for you, not yourself. All right, so make sure you've written your sentence accordingly. And then there's a note on the bottom that I wanted to re-emphasize for you guys. Don't ever use these forms of compound personal pronouns, his self and their selves. These are not correct usage, okay? So if you see those in a sentence, right away you know there's something wrong, okay? His self should always be written himself. Their selves should always be written themselves, okay? Go ahead and write that. Here, himself, themselves. All right, let's go on to page 172. We've got 14 problems that we're gonna work through here very quickly, and we're gonna look at whether or not the compound personal pronoun is used correctly or incorrectly. So, number one, in Think B, page 172, write correct in the blank if the compound pronouns are used correctly. And then number two, if the sentence contains an error in the use of the compound pronoun, rewrite or write the correct pronoun on the blank. Okay, so number one, the floor was so shiny, I could see myself. Okay, so here we see the compound pronoun myself. Myself in this sentence is referring back to I, the subject of that part of the sentence. Okay, so I could see myself. So in this case, the compound pronoun is being used correctly. So you would write correct on the blank. Next, number 2. Are Anna and yourself going on the church outing? Now, yourself doesn't rename Anna. It doesn't rename the subject, okay? So it's being used incorrectly. So you should cross out yourself, and the correct usage would be you in the nominative case, because Anna and you are the subject, okay? So you needs to be in the nominative, you needs to be on the blank because it's the correct one to use. Next, number 3. And make sure you're following along in your books, page 172. Even the mother of Jesus herself needed Christ to save her. Here we see that herself is referencing back to Mary. Mary is the subject of the sentence. So here we see that this herself is the correct usage. So you should have correct on both of those blanks. Next, number 4. Micah cut himself while shaving. And as we learned over here, himself is the incorrect form. But let's see if it's either way, it's used incorrectly, so we gotta cross that out. Okay? And on the blank, we should have himself. Where is it? Micah cut himself. Himself is referencing back to the subject, Micah. Next, number 5. Madison gave herself away by laughing during the joke. Okay, here we see the compound pronoun herself is referring back to the subject, who was it, Mary? Madison. It's referring back to the subject, Madison, so that is the correct usage, so you could write correct on your blank. Next, number 6. Have you read the book itself? Okay, so itself is referencing back to the book. Again, another correct usage of a compound pronoun. So you would write correct on your blank. Number 7. My brothers tried to repair my bike themselves, okay? Here we see this form of themselves. Right off the bat, we know that's an incorrect usage. We need to put the correct form, themselves, okay? So cross out that incorrect usage. Well, you don't have to cross it out. You just need to make sure the correct form of the compound pronoun is written on your blank. Next, number 8. Has Tyler himself heard that he won the election? Again, same problem here. We have an incorrect form of the compound pronoun. So we're gonna go ahead and eliminate that and write the correct form, himself, on the blank. Next, yourselves will need to clean up this mess. Yourselves is not referring back to any subject. It's being used as the subject. And remember, a compound pronoun can't replace a personal pronoun. So it can't take the function of the personal pronoun. You need something, you need the word that acts as the subject, which would be a word a pronoun in the nominative case, okay? And again, you can always reference back to page 164 to look up those cases, but you should have those memorized by now. It's, it'll help get you through all your problems quicker. Number 10, I hope I didn't skip one. Number 10, the toddler sang himself to sleep. Himself is referring back to toddler. Here we see a correct use of the compound pronoun. Next, number 11, we will make all the invitations. Ourselves. Ourselves is referring back to we. So again, we see a correct usage of the word. All right. Oh, and I did skip number 12. I went straight to 13. John timed himself on the arithmetic speed drill. Himself is referring back to John. So I'm just going to put a check mark to signify that himself is the correct usage of the compound pronoun in this sentence. Number 13. Hannah sent myself a postcard from Hawaii. Myself here is not referencing back to Hannah. It's not renaming Hannah. It's referring to somebody else. So myself would have to be eliminated and me would have to be put in its place. Hannah sent me, so me is being used as a direct object, okay? Me is the personal pronoun in the in the objective case. So we use the me there. Then lastly, number 14, the children got themselves soaked by running through the sprinklers. Again, we have the wrong usage of the compound personal pronoun, so we put the correct usage here. So cross out themselves, you should have themselves on the blank. All right, lastly, we're on page 173, problems 1 through 2. I'm gonna put these exercises online, so for write, think D, writing a sentence in the nominative case personal pronoun, I'm gonna have you do that online, so be sure you're ready. If you have any questions, give me a call, shoot me a text, all right? So remember E. Remember E is referencing back to lesson, had it marked here, lesson number 8, I think. So if you go back to page 142, you'll see a lot of the information. It's a review of nouns agreeing in number with their verb, okay? So, number 1, you have my brother and I blank excited about the float trip. So you have the verbs am and are. Brother and I, it's a compound subject, so you are going to use, it's referring to multiple people, so you need to use the singular verb are. Okay, so my brother and I are excited about the float trip. Number 2, neither Brian nor I blank ever gone whitewater rafting. Again, you have another compound. I'm sorry, I said singular here. You need to use the plural verb here, are. Neither Brian nor I have ever gone whitewater rafting before. Here we use the plural verb have, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, no, the singular verb have, because whenever it's or nor, whenever the subject, so compound subjects joined by or nor, take a singular or plural subject, okay? Depending on which one's closest to us. So neither verb, so the verb agrees with the near subject, okay? So you can always reference back in your books to page 142, in this case, to see what is the correct usage of the verb. So in this case, we have. Our backpacks and lunch, you would have were already packed and ready to go. Okay, so you've got a compound here. Backpacks is plural, and then lunch is singular, and it's gonna take a plural verb were. Okay, next. Bacon and eggs makes a hearty breakfast for a busy day. So the options are make and makes. And remember things like mac and cheese, things that are used as, that are a couple things that are used as one thing, okay? Those can go ahead and take a singular verb, okay? And then lastly, we all agree that our 4 hours blank, not too much time to spend on the river raft. Okay, if we look at page 142, whenever you have verbs referring to time, it takes the singular verb. Okay, so in this case it's was. So even though, yes, it's the plural hours, okay, it's not gonna take a plural verb, it's gonna take a singular verb, because when it refers to time, it takes a singular verb. And that is on, let's see here. That is on page, right, 144. You see the rules for nouns that refer to amounts of time are usually singular. All right, make sure you have all your corrections done on your pages. Make sure you're ready to take a little quiz tomorrow. You're watching this on Thursday, so on Friday, there'll be a little quiz online, okay? And just make sure you've made all your corrections before you watch it. All right, thank you.